soundandeffects.com. Nick, Juan on the cameras.
And Peg in the house.
Samson and my mic.
Yes,
my mic sounds very nice.
Yes.
So, and then Mr. Hungry Robot Pedals with this funky little joystick looking thing. What is it? Who knows? It's called, we think it's called the Kármán Line, but they have those little
accents
on the A's.
So, come on.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know how
They're
to say
trying to confuse us, just like Molly Crew is trying to confuse us.
Yeah, exactly. So, what is this? Well, if you give a shit about funky delays,
yes,
then you give a shit about this.
Yes.
Also, just about anything that has a joystick on it.
How did that move?
Doesn't matter what it does. It's just, if it has a joystick, that's cool. You know what I mean?
I'm feeling it.
So, all right. I just plugged this thing in and figured it out. It's a delay.
Yes.
Let's just go through what everything is real quick.
Got it.
Top left, we got the mix. It's not really a mix, it's a volume, a delay volume. I don't know why people do that. Some pedal manufacturers tend to call the volume control the mix control, which whatever. But I usually like my mixes and my volumes pretty cranked. Actually, sometimes on pedals, that kind of sucks because I like it fully wet.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the time, yeah. So when it's actually when it's not a mix and it's a volume, that could be a bit of a bum out. On a delay, I don't really think it matters.
Yeah, you have to have it on delay so you can have the, do you ever play delay fully wet where you don't hear your original signal?
Actually, I do that sometimes.
Who does that? What delay does that?
Line
6?
Yeah, you could do it with that, or the new Nemesis, Source Audio Nemesis.
So it's just the delay.
So for instance, we're going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but so what I would do is set it, let's say it's like a slapback,
right,
but fully wet.
Right.
So when you're playing it, it's a really short delay, and it does this weird kind of like, it's literally sounds delayed when you're playing it because it's all wet signal. So it's like and it's just kind of a weird dynamic playing that way. I like a full wet sometimes, or there's instances to use a full wet.
All right.
Back to the matter at hand.
Let's go.
So this is a volume knob. It's not necessarily a full mix knob. Just your standard repeats knob. How many times do you want it to make the delay sound?
Right.
The O mix. By the way, let me switch up real quick. This is kind of confusing to look at because that's how you would have it
on your board,
but you would read it this way.
Yes.
I was a little confused by that at first. So let's read it this way. Repeat mix, O mix, which is the oscillation mix. We'll get into what that actually does in a second. Depth is the modulation depth. This thing does like neat, kind of wobbly, vinyl warping sounds.
Can I ask you? So I think maybe the reason why he did that also, maybe for the DJ dudes. You think? Because they're not.
You mean the era guys?
yeah, okay. But because they're turning it on and off with their hands, and so they're looking at it that way, as opposed to a guy up with his feet who needs it that. I don't know.
That might be a bit of a stretch, but it's a nice thought.
All right.
So then, what does this guy do? Well, if we're looking at it back this way,
got it.
Off of the x-axis and the y-axis, you got a couple of different options. So the y up and down is going to be the delay time. So I think this should be kind of like the long delay, and this will be the short.
Yes.
And then left to right on the x is going to be the modulation speed.
Depth.
This is the depth.
Oh, so it's the speed of
I think maybe they might describe it. Each different movement might have like warping, depth, / this or that. But when I'm playing it, I'm hearing delay, speed, and I'm hearing modulation rate.
Got it.
So,
okay, cool.
But whatever.
Got it.
You're going to get into like movements that aren't just up and down, right? Because it's 360 degrees. So it's not kind of.
Oh, right.
It's not really an exact science when you're messing with it.
Right.
So to the switches, let's see. You got your on-off right here. Then in the middle, you have your momentary oscillation, which they call the swell. Mm-hmm. So, it's one of these nice little soft switches, which I love. Oh my gosh, they're so comfy feeling. And then on the far right, it's a latch. So you turn it on and then the momentary or the oscillation goes wild. The oscillation mix, getting back to this, that kind of tames it when you're in latch mode. So you can't turn it all the way down, but you could kind of like, muffle it a bit so it's not as wild. I've found in the few minutes that I've like, been having fun with this thing, I really like the momentary swell mode. I think that's it. I saw some chatter about this thing online. Maybe you posted a photo of it and people were like, oh my God, you got one of those. And I had never even heard of it before, but I think it's pretty cool. It's like kind of a brownish color with some gold writing on it. Super pimp.
I'm not sure what that's supposed to tell us, but
I wonder, is that printed on there? Or like, what is that?
I think so. I mean, he's
it's legit.
making some legit stuff, but it definitely looks like he could have used like a gold Sharpie.
Like he just cruised over to Michael's and grabbed like a gold Sharpie pen. But that's cool if you're into that.
All right, here we go. Let's bust some sounds.
Okay. So
what an intro.
So I got my mix all the way up, which again, just to recap, that's volume, right? So I'll start with my repeats at I'm going to say 930. Let's start with the depth off so you can just hear what it sounds like. This isn't going to matter because I'm not going to turn on the latching mode quite yet. So here we go. This is a sound. So it's one of these like lo-fi delays, you know what I mean, where it colors the sound just right off the rip without messing with it much. So I don't know that I'd recommend doing this with your foot unless you have, nimble toes. Because, I'm being very gentle with it right now. So, that's the gist of it thus far. So let's see. So short delay, right? We're on the Y. Pretty cool. So now let's get into the swell mode. All right, so it's going to swell really, really quickly. So I suspect this is going to be like kind of a stuttery sound. I want more stuttery. So there's your swell. Here's a latch. Let me dial that back. So it should do, well, it'll do this. Except I don't, it's, oh. That's sick. Okay, but I'll just turn it on. Right, so actually here, let me do that again and demonstrate the volume on the oscillation mix. You know what I mean? You could tame it. But I think what the real magic in this little guy is the latch. Let's get some depth in there now. So let's see, let me get it nice and centered. So now here's with the modulation depth. There's that fucking 2006 analog delay chaos. Remember when every single band on the planet was doing this?
Johnny Greenwood.
Oh my God, don't you remember that? Everyone was just creaming their pants over that fucking sound.
It was so easy to do, but people thought you were a magician.
I feel like that was partially your band's fault.
Oh God.
Too, for that fucking sound. I mean, hey, I thought that sound was pretty cool in 2005 when I heard it. feel like you can definitely get musical with this thing too, because you can, you know, once you capture your delay sound in that, you can tune it and mess around with it, and it also you can't play into the delay. I don't know what that'd be called, but you know what I mean. The signal is just done. It's committed to whatever you latched onto, or you know, in the swell mode, whatever. So peep it. So what I would do, I mean, if I were gonna get deep on this, I would mark off all my little positions, like, oh, when, you know, like to be super precise. I think it'd be cool to, you know, let's see. So let's see here. So I would be like, oh yeah, that little screw right there, that's a good.
It made your red light go crazy right there.
Yeah, I'm not.
Work right there.
Oh, you know what? I just noticed the red light is the tip of the spaceship.
Yes.
But I don't.
No, look.
Is
now
it?
hit your note.
All right, hold on. Yes, so it is taking care of the rate right there. It's not right there though, so I'm not sure how that light works. That actually sounds like
super dope.
That sounds like a rocket ship taking off. Yep, there's the rocket taking off sound. So I feel like that kind of covers it. Let me try and play some pretty shit.
Can you do some of that beat stuff you were doing earlier?
I'm trying to think of something that the blues rockers would like. So let's try and like really.
As much as we talk shit on them, you always have to like satisfy them.
Dude. Or like, you know, if you are trying to get a gig at a church playing on a Sunday morning, you would probably go for something like this. But then, if you're like not even all about that church shit, you'd be like. I don't know how I got that one sound, but that was really cool.
That was super tough.
So the Kármán Line, I think that's how you say it, by Hungry Robot.